welcome to the AI GovSec discussion series. I'm Aditya Chotia, an AI governance and security enthusiast. I've spent 13 plus years in the cybersecurity, IT risk and compliance space. This series exists because AI is moving faster than the governance frameworks meant to control it. Every week, I sit down with industry leads, with CISO security leaders, and everybody is worried. Everybody doesn't know what's coming. Hence, I've created this to actually understand and see what everybody is doing, what's working, what's not working when it comes to AI, governance, and security. No theory, just practical conversations about how organizations are navigating the gap between AI adoption and the controls needed to manage it. Whether you are a security leader trying to get ahead of the AI risk or a practitioner building in this space, this is for you. Let's get into it. Thanks a lot, Maman, for joining me in the AI GovSec discussion series. I'm really happy that you are part of this and you are here today to share your knowledge, what you're seeing out there. So just for the audience, can you introduce yourself and your background and experience?
Okay. Thank you, Aditya, for having me. It's a great pleasure, really, to be with you today. My background, you see, the picture in the background is my home. That's where I was born and raised in Western Africa, in Niger. Behind this mountain is the Sahara Desert. It is in the Sahara Desert, but it's where you see this postal card kind of sandy pictures that looks beautiful, nice, but it's hard. It's a hard environment. I started my career in technology, I will say, a little bit more than 4 decades now. I started as an engineer in radio communication, which became telecommunication as the technology was evolving, which become networks. Then networks become digital networks. Digital networks become the internet. Okay, so I have been in that journey ever since. I work in research as well. I did some research nearly 30 years back in computer-aided design of telecommunication system, of course, using artificial neural networks, you see. So since I have been now in cybersecurity for nearly more than 23, 25 years, and then in different capacities, from governance, risk and compliance, to leading cybersecurity, auditing, strategic sourcing, everything around technology since. So that's me.
Got it. Thank you for giving us that background, because yeah, it's like 40 years of experience in there, right? And you have seen it right from that radio wave to now, where autonomous driving is happening on the road, and AI in itself, like from radio waves to AI, it's just mesmerizing to hear that. So let me start with the discussion with that background. So. You have spent sort of the 40 plus years, and as you said, sort of 25 years specifically in that cybersecurity audit, governance, and lately the AI governance, including, I know, for example, you have done sort of led audits in multinational pharma companies. What drew your focus on helping the boards and CISOs translate risk into decisions?
So being in technology, the key challenge that I can see in helping boards make decisions is just making them understand what is at stake when it comes to technology. I mean, they know how to run business, of course. They are the ones that are making money in the company. Technology, while it's important and it's critical to business, is a support function anyway. So it means that technology leaders will need to translate the risks that they see, the challenges they see from their perspective, into business challenge, into business complexity, into business risk, so that the decisions can be done clearly by the leaders. Okay. So what it now, because we are talking in the context of AI, so the speed matters now. AI is exacerbating the miscommunication already. So it means that when you convey a risk, you explain it. If leaders get it, they still have some blur areas where they need, let's say, to look at, to better understand before making the decision. And then speed is needed as well. You see this paradox. You need to make a decision with all the elements that and then you need to do it fast in a context that is moving on things that you don't master really. So this is one thing. And this is a challenge really. So when it comes to audit and cyber risk, for example, the evidence alone are not enough. You need to show clearly what is the risk in the decisions that they need to make, how they can leverage all this organizational knowledge from different perspectives in making the decision, and then pick up whatever they understand, ask the right question, and then make the move. So that's how I see it really. Yeah.
Understand, and I think there are really gold information, I would say, in there. And if I just try to summarize that, I think what you said is the business leaders 100% know how to run a business, how to make money. They need help in translation is the tech risk or the cyber risk, is what is the risk underlying the technology which is supporting the business. I think that's one. The second one, which is really resonating in my brain, is you said, they have to, like, they have a lot more to sort of take it in. In terms of the width has increased, there's a lot of things going on, but then the speed which they have to take it in as well has to be sort of 10x or 50x, because every day, every minute, it's all changing. I think this is really crucial points. And just on the back of that, because I know that you wear multiple hats. For example, you do advisory, you do coachings, you contribute to frameworks. I know you also sort of work with the World Economic Forum from a cyber resilience perspective. You're also a member of the Forbes Technology group, and you are also commenting on the OWASP agentic AI risks. How do, from your perspective, how do these roles differ each other? How do one inform the other? And sort of, I'm trying to understand what is the input and output into each one of them, and how do we sort of complement each of them?
That's the magic, my friend. Altogether, just keep me honest because of all this perspective. So, of course, I have, with my background, I have been around a lot of things, early stages. Okay, when I started practicing. Okay, all this technology today is not here. Okay, wasn't here. I contributed to few of them at that time, but it's still far away. Okay, so of course, so the advisory piece, for example, if I start with this one, helped me understand how things can go wrong in real organizations under real constraints. When you are advising someone, you sit with them. You don't know the context. They will tell you what they think you should know. But imagine you are driving. If you are experienced driving, 90% of what you are doing when you are driving is just unconsciously done. You don't think about changing the gear or whatever. You just go ahead. If it's a new driver, they will think about every single element, every single move. So think about these people that you are advising as the seasoned drivers. So what they will tell you is perhaps only 10% of what the reality looks like. You have to figure out how to get this 90% of organizational constraint that is obvious to them. Then this is a learning, really. It helps. So you navigate this complexity. Then the second thing is the coaching piece. It shows, coaching has that to show that how and even seasoned leaders can struggle. You can see you see when they ask you to coach them, it's just because they need another perspective. They know, the good ones know that they are missing something. They don't know what. When you come user perspective, then you give them, I won't say blind spot, you clarify or you unlight some blind spots. I won't say that, but still you give them another perspective. Then you are not doing that only, but when you do it from your perspective, you also help them to understand how to influence. You see? Then comes the frameworks. A framework brings clarity. And it not only brings, it doesn't bring only, it forces it. Okay. You have the, if you pick the NIST framework for AI, it's saying nearly exactly the same thing than the EU AI Act. Okay. There's nothing new under the sun, but it's said differently, organized differently. The process are not exactly the same. There are few ways of saying things here. There are some cultural elements in it as well. Okay. So, and also there is a risk element now. If you can't explain something very clearly, very easily, so that people can reuse it, it is somewhere something that you are losing as well. You miss it somewhere. That's why Albert Einstein said an expert is someone who can convey very complex topics easily to every single person so that they can understand it. They will understand, pick something from it and move, walk away with it. Okay. So it creates a loop. Okay. And then I mentioned practice. Practice, when you practice, you learn the mess, how it can go wrong, how hard it is to do very easy things in an organization. You have the rules, you have the culture, you have the seniority, the level of decisions that you can, so there all this gets into the picture. Then the coaching brings the human dynamics inside the mess. Okay. You help people understand that yes, it's messy, but you can get help. You can ask the right questions. You can influence somehow. Okay. Then of course I mentioned the framework already. Now is they bring the structure. Depending on which one you pick, you have a structure to help you navigate that uncertainty and complexity. And then of course you can bring it in practice. You see, globally, it's only one system, different perspective. I'm lucky to have been in cyber risk audits for so long, and also being in technology when it really started. You see, my first job, I was working on radio transmitters that were built in 1928. 1928, they were brought in Western Africa in 1928 during the colonization, right after the World War I. Okay, using electronic tubes. I learned with this one. I saw how I moved to semiconductors then, and now, man, we moved to a black box where you have no idea what's happening inside. You just pray.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is brilliant, and even I learned so much what you said there, and specifically I would like to quote like that driving example is so perfect, and I never thought it that way. And that analogy is so perfect that somebody who's like experienced driver, he knows, but he will not see all the things keep in his mind. So when you're speaking to them, you just need to understand everything rather than just what they're saying. That's sort of like brilliant. Um, Moving on further, because I would like to get the full gold out of you, right? So I think you have written before that if how I'm just thinking, how should I translate it? So you can be correct and still be ignored, and I think you touched upon it in your last answer as well, that you can be correct and still be ignored. But if you can't turn risk into a decision or make the other person understand why it is a risk, and if it cannot be changed into a decision,
Mm.
it will not help. So from an AI risk perspective, how would you translate model hallucinations, model drifting, the agentic AI taking its own decisions, and no ownership slash less ownership of those decisions? So how do you translate these risks to like a board or an audit committee?
Okay. First, coming back to your first question about business leaders, they know how to run the business. Okay. Hallucination, you don't talk about hallucination anyway when you talk to leaders. Okay. Let's say you pick up this example, so let me elaborate around this one particular. Okay. So you need to have a map. Okay. You are talking to leaders who know exactly what they want to put in place, and exactly not themselves alone, but they have teams that help them do that. Okay, so what they need to know is what can fail, how bad it can be, and how soon it will fail. Okay. Then if you take hallucination will become kind of you can say, okay, it's a perhaps a fabricated output that is presented to customers as a truth, or presented to your staff as a truth. Then it becomes something. You see, the message is different. Oh, by the way, if you are sitting with someone who can just build up a story, present it to you as a truth, so that you can make a business decision, then it rings some bells, right? And then instead of talking about AI, just tell them a software will take action and act without you being able to do whatever you want to do to comply to regulation, to hold on your reputation as stronger, and then that's it. It's not only giving you answers. Okay, this software is taking action. So I guess you will see the difference. They will look at you differently, because they know exactly when you say that, what it means to the business. You see?
Right.
So this is hallucination. That's just clearly what hallucination is about.
Got it.
So that's if you link it to business outcome, revenue leakage, customer harm, regulatory exposure, operational disruption, okay? Then trust me, they know exactly what the impacts are, and you will see they understand. They don't need to know what hallucination is or what agentic AI is or whatever. It's just a software messing up things.
Got it. And this is really helpful. So technically, if you just translate all of that into their language of understanding, and I completely agree, and even that is an insightful point for me, that rather than AI, rather than model hallucination, you just say software, not like doing a fabricated output or outcome which is impacting your top line or impacting your operations or regulatory exposure, then because they know the business, they will open the ears for you and they will see you. This is again really gold. So understand.
Yeah.
And I know that you also use like a 5-line sort of risk decision script, right? Where this, as you said, right, decision needed, business impact options, trade-off, owner, evidence, and I think there's one more around recommendations. Can you walk us through that how this works in practice with an example for a specific AI risk? Because we are focused on AI, so I would like to get more from an AI perspective. And the example could be like a business unit wanting to deploy a Gen AI or an AI agent for autonomous decision making, and then how do you then translate that from a 5-line risk perspective?
Okay, so before we get to the 5 lines, okay, first, now that we know how to explain to the business leaders what is at stake, we can, so we know they are able to make the decision. Do we accept the risk? Do we reduce it, or do we just change the design, take another route? You see? So once this is clear, then I mean, the way I'm seeing it, as I mentioned already, I think you have seen that in few papers. So first, a decision is needed, you see. Are we approving Gen AI for client facing? Because initially the decision was accepting the risk, but then where are we putting the software itself? Is it facing the customer? If it hallucinates, should we take the risk that it hallucinate when the customer is interacting with it? And what are the guardrails that we need to put in place? Of course, it can go wrong anytime, in many ways. But do we have do we know what guardrails we need to put in place? Then this is the decision needed. The business impact now is how can we manage the speed? We need faster throughputs and lower cost. Everyone loves that. Things goes fast, bringing value at lower cost. Okay, but can we accept to make that decision, assuming that the advice itself, when it gets into the picture, was wrong? Will it impact the data leakage or brand damage? Or these are the business real impacts of the decision of putting Gen AI in front of the customer, as the first example that I took. You see, and then what will happen if the outputs are wrong, or when it leaks sensitive information? This is the business impact at a high level. Okay. Then the trade-offs, of course, you mentioned them. The trade-offs. It's because it's facing it's a client-facing assistant. So you have to think: are we going to validate it for internal use first to see how it works? Okay. Of course, if we have to test it in-house first, it takes time. Time is money. So it means lower risk, but slower benefits as well. The route to value gets lower. We use AI for speed. You see, another paradox again.
Yeah.
Then you can take another option. Okay. Okay. We approve it. Okay. But we put in place strong controls so that we get this assurance that if it goes wrong, we will still be able to keep it under control. Higher cost, faster value. It's still now it's in balance. paradox again. Then another option can be, okay, let's stop here until we have everything right. We have this strong controls, and then we know it will not go wrong. That's it. Of course, we have strong assurance, slower value. You see, three options and trade-offs. It's something that every organization should go through, every decision. And business leaders are used to this kind of decision. It's their daily job.
Right.
Or navigating uncertainty and paradox is what leaders do. Okay. Then the fourth element, ownership and evidence. Now, of course, generally speaking, we say business is accountable. Business owner is accountable. You need to identify the business owner. Not security, legal risk, or whatever. No. You need to identify the business owner. An owner is an identified person. It's not a group of person. So it means that you cannot say, okay, legal owns this risk. No, there is no such things that legal in an organization. It's a department. There's a head of legal. In this department, there are different type of leaders who are making decisions depending on their accountability. So you hand them what they are entitled to handle. Okay. Then, of course, you need some evidence as well when to show whether it's going right or wrong. So that's where you test. You have some ways of doing it. You can do red team testing. Okay. You can do some data handling design, let's say, walk through to see how data can misshape over the transactions. You can also think about the human in the loop, which is documented everywhere, but the human in the loop also should be a human proficient and aware of the risk on the workflow that makes the decision, not just having a human will mess it up as perhaps worse than the AI itself, because but it should be someone who is accountable, who understands, who have the skills. Okay, and also you have an incident plan. If it goes wrong, how are you going to manage that? And then how are you going to recover your business process? And the last one, the recommendation. Okay, you approve one option. Okay, let's say the three that I shared. Approve the B is approve client facing controls. It means that you define the controls. You know exactly which they are. You enforce them. Okay, restricted data scopes, mandatory human review for client output, and telemetry with kill switch. The ones that we still carrying on our Gen AI facing customer example. So with that, you can say, okay, I have an assurance that, okay, while I cannot say 100% things will go well, if they go wrong, I can still have a control over them to minimize the impact to my staff, to my customers, to my reputation, to my revenue. Okay, so that's it.
Got it. This is really solid gems out there. And even I was in between, I was listening like a student, that this is really helpful. And just on the back of this, because this is reminding some of the conversations where I have been part of, and I have seen some of these conversations happening. And sometimes I have seen sort of these business leaders sort of cross-questioning their, like, I get it that there is these are the type of the risks which I'm facing, but let's say our competitor is already using it and he's sort of like his throughput is already up, cost is down already, and why we are thinking about the risk. So that's one angle. The other angle is sometimes they would say, yeah, I get it, but then what will be the use of doing so much of analysis, like risk-based analysis? Like what is the upside of that versus if I just deploy it, I get so many upsides. How do you handle those with business leaders?
Look, I mean, in this case, it's more really understanding the landscape. Okay, so first, I will start by looking at the impact. Okay, you go straight. No technical jargon, nothing. You go straight. Hey, here is the impact. Okay. If we put this Gen AI in front of the customers, here's the impact. Okay.
Got it.
And then it means that the impact in this case should be framed as, of course, when it goes wrong, because you want to contain it if it goes wrong, right? So you say the impact and how you are going to contain it, and what is the decisions that you want them to make. And when you say that in this way, when you present it in this way, it make, first it's straight. You avoid 100 slides. Normally in this kind of decision, one is enough. Here's what we want to do. We want to put the Gen AI in front of the customer. Okay. Here is the impact. Of course, the impact you can give the values that you expect and also how it can go wrong. And then you say, here's if it goes wrong, here's how we are going to contain it, and this is what I expect from you. I want you to say yes, because I put these guardrails in place. Remember the option B that I mentioned. You say that this is what I want. If we don't do it, then this is another the impact of on the business as well. So all this together is helping framing the decision. And also, of course, you can also have a kind of high-level model on how AI can go wrong. It can be the design, it can be the data, it can be the workflow, it's whatever it is. You know what is your catalog of AI failures, and then you share them clearly, and then you clarify what are the guardrails, what are the reviews that are needed, because don't forget that AI drifts. Reviews should be, you will have a review loop, and then what is the consequence of unclear accountability? So it's
got it. This is really helpful, and I completely agree, because yeah, you put straight the impact in, and because of the guardrail which you have already added in there, they could make the decision. So completely with you. I'm moving on, because obviously you when we started, you have a lot of experience under your belt in this area, right? So I think you would be the best person I can ask this question. So, and this is sort of twofold, because you have seen the cybersecurity arena as well since it started and how it has taken shape, and now from an AI perspective. So we know both, like cybersecurity, legacy cybersecurity had a lot of risks, and the AI obviously had a lot of risks with it. What is, based on your experience, what is the most common like mistake in terms of interpretation which CISOs make when they're presenting to CIOs or boards about these risks? Like what is the what is the mistake you see? Like they are not articulating it correctly, or they have blind spots when they're highlighting things based on the framework which we discussed, because I'm sure not everybody sort of follows that framework correctly.
Mm. Yeah, so of course, I mentioned already a little about this mistake. It's just going straight to the board with hundreds of slides, with technical jargon and all this. So this is, to me, this is the killer.
Okay.
This is a killer. You cannot be effective in conveying a message when the recipient can't understand it. They don't understand the wording that you use. Imagine, you know what, when I'm writing my articles,
Mm.
you know how I'm framing them when I start? When I want my article to be understood by a 9-year-old kid.
Right.
That's my only constraint. That's my only constraint. So I use my style. Sometimes, okay, sometimes there's no other ways of adding few things. You cannot talk about configuration management in another way than just naming it. Okay, and then, but of course you can name the risk behind, the outcome behind, but it gets lengthy. But that's exactly the thing. You write your slide so that the people you are speaking to understand. They are smart people. They just don't know what you are talking about. In the same way, when they will talk about a bit, all the kind of thing, you have no idea of all these financial figures add up. You just see at the end, hey, your bonus is X, and then you say, bravo, or hey. But that's exactly what they need. Just tell them exactly. Go ahead directly to go straight with the word. They don't have time. They don't have the technical skills or experience, but they know how things can go wrong in the business. Just do it that way. If you don't understand the business, then it means that as a CISO, you need to go back and understand the business. One of the company I work for, when I joined, I spent 4 months. My first 4 months, I was just working with other people. HR, marketing and sales, research, supply chain, just going and talking with them. And then I was sharing office with other new joiners in the company who are doing different things. And I learned a lot about the company, the jargon. Okay, and we were writing pages of abbreviations and all this kind of thing to understand them. Once it was done, we knew exactly what things are. When you saw an acronym, you know what it means. You know, so that's what is needed. So it means that when CISO is presenting, they need to speak the language of the business. Not the business language, the language of the business, the way they frame it by themselves. And then you need to frame the AI failures from their perspective of failures as well. You see, that's why CISO can borrow a lot from industry, from aviation, from city designs, for example. Okay, from architect, because the way you think, imagine a city design. You can learn from city design to enhance the architecture of your systems, the workflows. You see? Right. Yeah. You can borrow from aviation to be better in risk framing, you see, because a checklist in aviation is that when you check one box, you can only move to the next control if the previous one is checked and right. If it's not, you don't move. It's not kind of you jump, you get the right one and say, okay, I had 60%. No. When you are in the air, there's no option of 60% or 90%. You want it to be 100%, right? So that's it. So this is what. So that's and that's things that they can learn from other business domains as well. And that's something that I did a lot during my 40 years of experience, different perspectives. You see?
Got it. I think this is really again, Jem, that what I'm taking back is articulating and relating with like city, as you said, architectures and aviation from a risk perspective, or anything meaningful which the business leader understand, and if you can translate and that will make more impactful to the messaging which you are trying to create, and as technical jargon as much as possible. So completely with you. Moving on. Because I've read that article specifically, so I really liked it. Right, I think you co-authored a piece where you talked about the culture you can't see running in the security team, right? In the security ops. Now, just relating that to from an AI perspective, that when it comes to the AI adoption, what are the invisible rules from that culture perspective, assumptions perspective, which will determine your AI governance, whatever guardrails, processes you're gonna put in from an AI governance point of view? It's not just a checkbox, but like relating culture with AI governance, have you seen any relation there?
So, yeah, of course, yeah. The culture element can be applied in different contexts. We mentioned, let's say, hallucination and human in the loop. So imagine. Let me elaborate a little bit first about the different element of culture. Okay, so the first one, what you mentioned is the article that I co-authored with Dr. Gabriel Schneider. Yes, excellent contribution, because I appreciate a lot his work. First, let's say roughly culture comes in three settings. It's the observable. There's what you can see. You can see people doing all these relationships, the policies, all this kind of thing. Okay, this is the observable side of culture. Okay, then you have the non-observable kind of element, where people are doing things, and whether they are doing it right or wrong is not the matter here. They have some behaviors that you cannot see, because I mean, they can. Let's say you ask someone to change their password every month. You don't enforce it. If they don't do it, you cannot see it. Okay, if the CEO wants to have a specific access, let's say from their own personal device to organizational asset, you go ahead and then say they are granted the thing, and then it's a lifetime access, and no one will never check, because it's the CEO. You see, they can bypass the rules, and it's accepted, because they are the boss. Okay, but they don't. This can go very bad. You see, then you also have the culture that I mentioned the observable, non-observable, and the other one is this how it's more, let's say, the kind of the hidden culture in the organization, where everyone will bypass the rules, and then shortcuts are done, and then just randomly. So when you put it into AI context, you see, we said that you need to define clearly what are the guardrails. So if you design some guardrails against hallucinations that we discussed earlier, and no one is applying them, of course, hallucination will carry on. It doesn't mean that it will always, the impact will be always visible. Okay. But when it will be visible, it will hit hard, because it will be a kind of the invisible culture will make it so impactful badly. I mean, it's so worse to the organization that they cannot recover quickly from any incident in a right way. Because one thing of the observer in the observer culture is that when you are testing things, people see that you are testing them. Okay, you know how to go back if they go wrong, because these are the rules that what people should be doing. And imagine you come in a group where you have hundreds of people. You don't know all of them, but you interact with them daily. When you do something, it impacts their thing, what they are doing. It impacts the decision process as well. You are entitled to make a decision. You take the decisions. If you bypass some of the rules, the impact of your decision will propagate across all the decision flows, and so on and so forth. So that's the impact of culture. And what is happening is that if you don't do that, okay, thing can still, if you don't have a strong culture, thing can still go well. Okay, but when they go wrong, the recovery is more is harder, and the impact is more damageable to the organization. That's why, I mean, when okay, coming back to the AI example, you need to enforce the guardrails. AI will need a few rules. Okay, explainability. There are some element of ethics, fairness, security, governance, safety, operability. All this together, all this is. I mean, there are hundreds of different elements here that are that are considered into the context of AI that you need to get right. If you add the self-modifying AI now, where AI can make the decision by itself and update, then you see how the bias can get into the picture as well. Because of your code post, you are not granted a loan, or you are not given access to education because you are you have an accent. The software AI cannot understand your software. I can tell you now. Let me share an anecdote here. When I in 2002 I created my first business. Okay, and I was using a software. It was called Naturally Speaking. You should remember that, right? It's an old one now. So the idea of this software is that when you can talk, it records it, okay, and then it put it in a Word document. Okay. But I come from Western Africa. I'm French. When I speak French, I'm speaking French with West African accent. Because there's no such thing as African accent. West Africa, we have our own accent. In my country, the accent is still different from the neighbor country in Western Africa as well. I installed it on my computer. Look, I tried it. The outcome were just nonsense. I tried again. They say, oh, you have to test it. It should be. I tested it for a month. It didn't work. And then I get reimbursed because of my accent.
Right.
Think about the same case now. AI will it will provide me the text. Okay. If I don't check this text seriously, perhaps the message will be completely transformed. You see? So these are few cases, a few ways that I see.
Yeah. No, I think you point out something very correctly. And I'm sure you would be aware of this, that like what you said about the CEO having the access, and it talks about your observable versus non-observable culture, right? So there is this claw code and molt book, which is like the Facebook for these AI agents created, and everybody was going and chatting about the like who created who's the human behind them. And I think in one of the other podcasts when I was listening this, they were talking about like in the future, every person will have its own AI agent. So for example, there will be a LinkedIn of these AI agents where they are writing on behalf of how Maman thinks and how Addy thinks. In that case, if in an organization, the CEO's agent is then doing things on his behalf and he's got full access into everything.
Exactly.
Like I can't even think of the risks and things which could happen.
Yeah. Making the decision on behalf of people. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know how many people he will fire the AI agent on this.
If it's I mean, it can be dramatic.
I know, 100% aligned. Moving on, I had more questions, but because we will run out of time, I'll just skip some of the questions as well. And going into the sort of the end, and I've got sort of a couple of more questions where this one is more meaningful to ask, I guess, is if you are sitting with a CISO or like a head of second line or head of sort of internal audit, right? From an AI perspective, what is the one thing you will tell them that AI governance, AI security, like look after this at least? What is the one and why?
So the one thing I think that I will ask them to be cautious of, it's about getting the decisions right. It's about decision, okay? Because when you're running AI, you're just running. It's just a system doing the work for you. So you need to have the decisions right, because it makes the decision. What is making our agentic AI now worse is that they also act. If the decision is wrong, they will act following the decision itself. The second thing is also having some criteria to define what safe to operate means, because it will come in different settings. But safe is just no dispute on what it means. You want your business process to be safe to operate, validated. Okay, that's it. So and you look at it from operational perspective. You see, Who approves what? In the so you have use cases. What evidence is required? What must be monitored? What triggers the rollback? Because when it goes wrong, you will need to think of a recovery as well. You have to roll back some of the things that you do. Who can pull the plug? Who can stop the operation? And this is something that you need to make implementable. It's not kind of you tick boxes. No. Who can pull the plug? So you need to make it clear that he is the owner of this pull the plug.
Right.
Or when, what are the criteria to do it? No dispute, no kind of, oh, it wasn't clear. No, just say it straight. Okay, this is the thing. Then it will help you avoid surprises, at least bad and late surprises. Sometimes if you will have other surprises, but if they are not bad and you say that you notice them early, you can act upon. That's fine. You learn. So yeah, that's it.
Got it. And I think there was this very deep, like, what is safe? Define the safe, right? Because everybody will just say we want to operate this safe AI, or we have done it safely. But what is safe? Define it as per your policy, organization, and other bits. Amazing.
Yeah, imagine. So when we were doing software the old way, when we have to test, we build a use case, we build a scenario, we build the test steps, and all this. Even with that, of course, we are human. Sometimes it's easy to shortcut because okay, it will save 10 minutes at the end, and so on and so forth. That's exactly that multiplied by million of cases. That's what AI is doing.
Yeah. No, completely agree. I think this is really brilliant. I can carry on for like 7 hours, but I'll be mindful of time as well. So we have this tradition in this podcast where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest. So there is a question for you, which is not directly related to the AI governance and security, but sort of AI related. And then I will give you a chance to give me a question which I can ask the next guest.
Okay.
So the question which was left for you was that we are getting into autonomous driving world, right? Where vehicles are driving without any driver. It's an AI-based driver. If an accident happens there, how would the insurance claims be managed in that world? Like just what do you think, or what comes to your mind that how, from a risk perspective, insurance companies can manage, like, think about this, that in the autonomous driving world, how insurance claim would be claimed, whether it's the fault of the AI, like of which the AI company is deployed in the car, or it is the fault of the driver, or it is the fault of, for example, Tesla, like the car company. Like who is responsible, and how does, maybe more framework, how does insurance company think about this?
Okay. So because we talk about AI and all this, let me frame it differently. To me, we have three partners here. The car, it means the company who manufactures the car. Okay. The driver and the insurance. This triad didn't change. Whether you put AI in the car or not, the problem is always the same. Okay? I'm quite sure that insurance companies are smart enough to find an insurance that will take in account that it's a self-driving car. I can tell they know how to make money. They will find a specific insurance for self-driving cars, okay? In which they will depict their responsibilities and the consequences. I'm quite sure it will happen if it's not there already, okay? So this is one thing. Then if an accident happens, Then the driver, I associate the driver with the owner of the car. The owner of the car manufacturer, one of them is accountable, depending on the type of accident. In the same way today, when you have an accident, it can be you, the driver, or the car, or someone external to this. It will happen exactly the thing that when I look at it, I just look at someone sitting in a car enjoying the drive. That's it.
Got it.
If it goes wrong, insurance will come and say, okay, who is responsible? Is it the pedestrian or another car? Is it your car? It's not because it's self-driving. It's a self-driving car. No, it's only a car first, and then self-driving is a feature. Let's take it that way. That's how I think, how it will go. And of course, as it moves forward, they will keep going, adapting to the evolution of technology. They know how to do it. I know a few guys who know how to do it.
Got it. Yeah. That's why I thought this would be a good question to get your brain. Now it's your turn to leave the question for the next guest.
Who is the next guest?
I can't disclose that. So he's like a CISO,
okay,
but I'll still tell you.
He's a CISO.
He's a CISO of an Australian pharma company.
Okay, great. I just need. I'm good. Okay. So my question is, CISO are always on fire. Everything in the in newspaper, what we can see is, a breach here, an attack here, and whatever. It's always challenging. CISO's life is hard. 2-3 days ago, there was I read an article where the 60-70% of CISO want to leave technology, the job, not only the job of CISO, but to walk away from technology. This kind of thing. Life is hard for them. But think about this. What happens is if nothing happened? You are a CISO in a company.
Right. Yeah.
And then nothing happened for a whole year. Nothing happened. Okay. But it doesn't mean that, are you going to have your budget cut? Or are you going to keep working in differently or whatever? What happens where nothing happened?
Got it.
Because usually we know when you are introduced to a CISO, you can directly go ahead and say, oh, my friend, how many breaches did you have last week? How hard was it? You see,
I completely get it.
So, if nothing happened,
yeah,
what happens? Okay.
Got it. Very interesting and very deep questions, for sure. Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Maman, for your time. Really
thank you very much.
It was golden gems. Even I have learned so much. I'm sure audience will enjoy.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate Aditya. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.